What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Woodshed. Today we're going over the newest high-level attack strategy taking over Legends League. Let's go ahead and get into it. What's going on, everybody? You heard me here right. It's the Woodshed, and today we're going over a new attack strategy meta that's kind of been making a nice swing, a good breakthrough. I have, you guys have noticed, I'm getting up there in Legends League and in trophies. I'm doing this around clan games time, right? Here is the army comp, and by the way, for those of you who don't care that much and just want to see the attacks, I will post the time over here somewhere where attacks start. So go see that if you're impatient. Go ahead. I know some of you guys don't like these long intros, so that's for you guys. Just skip ahead. So, going to the army comp, here's what we're doing. This is really simple, and this is really stupid. And I know looking at this, there's no way this should work. And I completely agree with you. That's exactly what I thought. Somebody showed me this during stream of this attack strategy, and it consists of a little bit of a different pet composition than normal. Not drastically. 16 dragons, a stone slammer, 11 invisibility spells. I've seen people use as low as 6. I've seen people use as many as 14, but I will tell you the pros and cons, vice versa. I use 12 plus the new revive spell, and I'll explain that when we get into it, along with 2 dragon riders and a balloon. So it's pretty simple. What the attack strategy basically is a royal champion charge into the base. Well, actually, you know what? It's probably better I show you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so here's going to be our first example. So like I said, very briefly, this is a Royal Champion charge. Now you might be like, Kyle, that doesn't make any sense. What are we going to do? You don't have any healers. What are you going to do? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to place the Royal Champion, and we're going to use our 12 invisibility spells here in order to path her through the base and keep her alive. So what do I mean by that? So what we're going to do is we're going to place the Royal Champion up here, and what we want her to do is we want her to be able to get all the high value and high damage targets, right? So I'd love for her to be able to take out a Town Hall. I'd love for her to be able to take out Sweepers. I'd love for her to be able to take out Spell Towers. I'd love for her to be able to take out a Monolith, maybe a Scatter Shot or 2. But that's kind of stuff you decide beforehand and where you can get the most value out of a Royal Champion. So I'm using her almost like I would use a Super Archer Blimp, except I'm looking for just pure value. I don't have to get the Town Hall necessarily, like I do with Skybird, where I use the Super Archer Blimp. I don't even necessarily have to get the Monolith either. I'm kind of just going for highest value, although I do tend to lean where I would prefer either the Monolith or the Town Hall. That's kind of the way I tend to go. In this case, they're actually kind of close together. The Monolith is more central, and the Town Hall's on the outside, so I'm going to hope that I can get the Town Hall and work my way inside. So you'll notice, too, with some of these spells, I'm actually leading my Royal Champion. So you'll notice here I'm going to place another one over this way because I believe she's going to come over here to this builder hut, and she does. She actually gets sidetracked by the clan castle troops a little bit. She's actually going to put a little bit of damage on those. But what I really want for her to do right here is I want for her to be able to get that poison tower out of the way. Now I dropped one. Unfortunately, I tried to cover up that ice golem, and I didn't in time, but it doesn't matter. And now you see, you'll notice I actually let her die there. So she's gotten so far in the base, and she does have the Phoenix with her. So the reason I'm letting her die is that so she can actually cause some damage to the troops that are right there with the Electro Boots and with the Phoenix. What I did is I also placed my Archer Queen over here. You might have seen in the background the very mediocre arrow I tried to shoot where I tried to get this sweeper. So I could come in from a different angle. I'd rather have come in through here. But since I couldn't do that, I actually ended up coming up this way. Now, what I ended up also doing, so, not Royal Champion, Archer Queen this way. I'm using my King to set a funnel. And so I can place all the dragons along with my Grand Warden and my Stone Slammer. So now the Royal Champion is dead. I'm leaving her alone for now, right? I'm going to set down all my troops. The reason for this is if I don't want to say if I don't let her die, but if I spend the whole time with just invisibility spells, I'm going to struggle with time. This attack does struggle with time variance. That's why I like the revive spell. Because once she's taken some damage, I have no problem sacrificing her and then bringing her back at actually a little bit more health than she did have. It also gives you some room for error. So what's going to happen now, she's going to die off. I'm going to place all of the troops and everything. They're actually going to start making their way in. I'm going to place my revive now when it's just the Monolith left over there, right? no ice golems, no nothing to slow them down, because I let the Phoenix RC take care of those. So now that's actually going to take care of that monolith, and it's actually going to do no damage to my main army because of the Eternal Tome. Now she's going towards that other air defense. She's going to make her way down to the scatter shot, and the amount of value I'm getting from the Royal Champion itself is absolutely outstanding. Absolutely nuts. And now I'm finally out of spells, but the base is 60% dead, 70% dead almost. You'll notice I still have a lot of dragons left alive, and I didn't even do a great job funneling them. You'll actually notice that my king is up here all by himself, which that does tend to happen, which is why I like the Quake Boots and the Spiky Ball, although I have been experimenting with Spiky Ball Giant Gauntlet a little bit. But I do think Spiky Ball and Earthquake Boots is the best way to do it, so he can get a little bit into the base himself. And now that my Grand Warden's alive with still a handful of dragons and my Archer Queen, there is nothing left that could stop me except for this one air defense specifically. But it's not going to be enough, and I should just roll straight through the rest of the base. Now keep in mind, these aren't low-end attacks either. I'm doing these in 5,800 plus. Right now I'm at 5,822, and there's one defense left. So keep in mind, these are not low-end strategies. This is stuff I'm using and testing very high level. So that's a fantastic example. Let's get into an example on a different Town Hall. Let's go to my Town Hall 16 and see how this plays out. All right. So now we're attacking up a Town Hall, right? So you'll notice this is Super 2 attacker, which is me. That's my Town Hall 16, almost max Town Hall 16. Not quite, but pretty close to. Against Galactus. Now, my Town Hall 16 is somewhere around 5,600 trophies. So still mid-Legends League, bordering on that high end, but not quite, considering how close to the end of the season it is. But you can still use this attack strategy here, and we're going to use the same spell composition. This one's a little different because I'm using the Minion Prince instead of my Barbarian King. And I'll show you the little small variance there is there. There's a little bit more support for my actual dragons themselves, but it's a little harder to set the funnel. But let's go ahead and get into it, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to RC over here in this corner. Immediately, same thing, hitting that rocket spear. I have my sights on the monolith, and I'm hoping to let my RC die somewhere close to the town hall, so when I revive and hit the invisibility spells, I can actually get her to double up on that value for me. It is crucial to get a ton of value. If you can't get both of these, you need to be able to get one of them plus a lot of value. I have seen some people, again, just put them in high traffic areas, like in an example right over here, and get just an absolute massive amount of value. In my opinion, you need to be able to get one. And so you actually notice in that moment where I left the expo with a little bit of health left, and I just put an invisibility on top of it, so I could go ahead and start my Royal Champion moving somewhere else. So I wanted her to come down here. I didn't want her to go up here, because then she'd go up here, and then maybe here, and I would lose her in pathing. So I'm using the invisibility spells to help cope a path for her. So she's going to do the expo down here, and then she's going to start going towards this builder hut, which is going to be exactly what I want. It goes towards the fire spitter. Now I'm a little worried she's going to go up here, but I think she's closer to the town hall. No, she does go for the scatter shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invisibility tower those two, and I'm going to essentially sack her on the town hall there. There is only 2 invisibilities left. I'm going to, again, Archer Queen to throw an arrow through there. I was hoping that I could get her to finish off the town hall with the help of the giant arrow before she died, before the Phoenix died, because you can see there it's actually being repaired by a couple of builder huts. So that's not what we want. So you'll notice I immediately go back to it, which is a little bit of a shame. I don't like having to do it that quick. I like having a little bit of time to place down my my troops beforehand, but I really need to get it out of there. Now, I also do take out an air sweeper, which does open up the way I want to attack. So this is how I'm also setting the funnel. I'm just setting a dragon on either side. In most cases, I would like to give it a little bit more time than that. And in most cases, right, if I had been a little smarter, I could have used my Archer Queen here, taken out the sweepers, used a Barbarian King here, in instance, where I had the Barbarian King, and used those two to set my funnel, and just set my dragons here. But since I don't have the king here, I can't really do that. So I'm using a dragon either side. I'm going to spam my dragons in the middle. Grand Warden, Minion Prince, and Stone Slammer all going in. I'm going to use my Warden ability relatively early. Keep in mind, there's not a ton of stuff that's really going to cause a ton of damage here. So I'm really just worried about mines and bombs. The Tornado Trap is going to hit me. Thankfully, my Stone Slammer does take a Seeking Air Mine. I also use my Minion Prince's ability to not a lot of use right there to a sweeper facing away and a multi-target Inferno. So not something that was super necessary. Um, but still, this is a very convincing, strong win right here. And you'll even notice that my Minion Prince is even split up to a solo dragon at this point. And that extra little bit of support kept him alive and has kept cleaning up on this end over here, while the amount of dragons that are left on this side is absolutely wild. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say, well, this just looks like Town Hall 16 is stronger than Town Hall 17, because I've never seen people do this against a Town Hall 16, 15, anything where that poison falls on top of them. And I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong, and I think I'm going to show you an example that will very much surprise you guys. So, now that we've seen a couple of 3-stars from a 16v17 and a 17v17, I think it's time we go to a bigger mismatch. So, here's the bigger mismatch. Now, take a look at the names. Defender, Super 3. This is my Town Hall 15. You can see, minus my heroes, almost a completely maxed Town Hall 15, right? So, very high-level Town Hall 15. Royal Champion over there, Minion Prince over here, Grand Warden over here. Am I missing one? Am I going crazy? Whatever. Archer Queens are on there somewhere. Just because I don't see her doesn't mean she doesn't exist. She wasn't upgrading during this, so she should have been here. Either way, whatever, right? And the attacker is Super 4. This is my Town Hall 14. And, as you'll notice, again, not max level heroes. I'm down a dragon than what I had been using. I'm using the same spell comp, and I'm using a level 6 Rocket Spear and a level 6 Electro Boots. I actually bought the Rocket Spear with gems and the Electro Boots from the event pass just to see if this was really doable at Town Hall 14. I do believe if you had that equipment, you could do this at Town Hall 13. Although, admittedly, 13v13 and 14v14, I don't know that this is more effective. It might be. I've used it a little bit, but not a ton. But regardless, let's get another replay, right? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to Giant Arrow to activate the invisibility tower that I have over there. By the way, if you come and get across me in Legends League on Super 3, you are not allowed to use this attack on me. You're not allowed to anything. You can't attack me. It's not allowed anymore. Because I'm showing you how to beat my base, right? So I'm using that to, for one, activate the Town Hall and the Spell Tower. Now, a good thing with this, because of the Electro Boots, you don't necessarily need to activate the tower, right? Because they do that little bit of AoE damage. So you'll notice she gets some long-range spears in. As she gets in, I'm putting down an invisibility spell. She turns around for the skeletons, and then almost immediately turns back around because there's no reason for her to be over there, right? So I'm going to try and guide her towards the Town Hall, and I actually am successful because I'm afraid if she does that, she might start walking over this way over to the Wizard Tower, but she doesn't. I put the invisibility on the scatter shot. I think she would have gone that way in the end either way, but I was concerned about that. So now she goes to that builder hut. Now she goes to that the air defense, and now she's coming after the Town Hall, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to spare another invis or two in order for her to take that out, and maybe if I'm lucky, she'll take out the invisibility tower. She does not, but that's okay. She's still going to get me a huge value, right? Oh, she's actually going to take out that sweeper, which is actually better than that invisibility tower. Because that sweeper is going to be the way I end up coming in. That's right. You'll notice I use one dragon over here for the sweeper. I use my Barbarian King. Now, it's an exaggerated version. I didn't need to put him all the way over here, but I did. Right, so now there's going to be no dragons completely screwing off this way. All my dragons going in. I'm hitting the Warden ability kind of early, and that's going to be kind of it. I did already hit the revive on my Royal Champion and the Invis, and she's going after the Eagle Artillery. Now, the only thing that left could stop me is the Monolith. And even though this base is set up very, very well, where everything's kind of far out of the way to us, there's not a ton of clumped up value like that, I've absolutely demolished this base with little to no repercussions, right? There's nothing that some sweepers can do at this point. There's nothing that a single Inferno can do. I have just absolutely dismantled this base down a real Town Hall level. Not disputed, 15 stronger than 16, or 15 is stronger than 14. Christ almighty. And I have still beat this this base relatively convincingly, might I add. It wasn't the strongest attack in the world, but I mean, I still have 5 dragons left at this point, 4 dragons left at this point, and my Grand Warden. So I think that was an absolutely fantastic attack. And I'd like to see anybody dispute that. I think that was absolutely mind-blowing, right? So let's go ahead and get to our conclusions. So all in all, obviously, with this attack used right, and I don't think it was that hard to learn, and I hope you did learn it from me, this attack strategy is absolutely nuts. I do think you guys should take the time to learn it if you're at Town Hall 15, 16, or 17. I've been using it on all of them. I use it a little bit less on the 15 because how comfortable I am attacking there with Skybrid. But 16 and 17, no doubt you should 100% be using this attack strategy. I hope this helped you guys out in learning it. Please let me know how it's worked for you in the comments or how you like it. I know it doesn't look like it should work, but I promise you, this is one of the craziest attacks that should have no business working as well as it does. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks, everybody.